Welcome to this tutorial. This tutorial is going to look at the basics of a maze game. And a maze game, obviously, you usually look from above or side on, and you have to work your way through taking different paths and avoiding enemies and collecting certain objects to open up certain doors. So this is just a very basic start to get you started. But what I've got here is just three sprites. One who is our person, which is a little teddy bear. As well as that, we've got a goal, which we need to reach to so we can go to the next room, and we've got ourselves a sprite wall. So we obviously need to turn these three sprites into objects and give them some actions. So the first one we need to set up will base on our sprite person. Now we call them object person, and we need to do some add events for them. Now the first action that we want to do, the first event is going to be a no key event. I don't think we've done one of these before, but if you're not pressing any key, what do you want to happen? So if nobody's touching the keyboard, we want the little bear to stop moving, and the way we do that is we grab an action that says if instance is aligned to grid. So we need to, sorry, that's the wrong one. We go into this one up here. If instance is aligned with grid, under control, if it's aligned with our grid, which we're going to reset at 32 by 32. So the snap horizontal and the snap vertical. You might be wondering, what is this grid mean? Well, we need to add ourselves a room. So if we add ourselves a new room, you can see at the moment our snap at the very top is set at 16 by 16. So we're going to change this so it's the size of the bear, and as you can see, it's now 32 by 32. What that means is wherever our little bear is, if he is not lined up in between one of these boxes, he will automatically be moved to line up. So if you let go of the keyboard and your little bear is halfway across one of these lines, he will either stay in this little box or move to this one. And it's very good for a maze when you have walls and only a certain path to go down. Otherwise you can get stuck on corners and it can make your game quite tricky. So remember to always set it up with a grid and set it up to the size usually of your main character. So we'll go back in to our person, and we're saying if there's no key pressed and the instance is aligned with our grid, we want it moving in a direction which is just that in the middle. It's not even an arrow, so you can just put whatever speed you want, but the idea is that they don't move. So click OK. Now we've set it so that when no key is pressed, the teddy bear, the main character, doesn't move. So we need to add quite a few new events. We need one for left, we need one for right, we need one for up and down as well. So we go to add event under our keyboard, up as well as down. So you can do this with me, and what we're going to do is just copy those two. So click on it and shift click, Control C, and then paste it in each of these so that each one will be identical. But what we need to do now is change it so that each one suits the keyboard movement. So this one, when we say move to the left, we actually want to change it to the left direction with a speed of 4 and click OK. With the up one, we want to change it to the up arrow with a speed of 4, click OK. With the right one, same again, right arrow, speed of 4, OK. And with the down one, down arrow, speed of 4, and OK. Now I want you to click OK, and we're going to add a new object, which is going to be for our object wall. So click on your sprite wall, so that's the image, object underscore wall, and then just click on OK. We then need to open back up our person, our main character, and set a collision event with the wall. So what happens when we bump into the wall? Well, what we want to do when we bump into the wall is have an event with the collision of the wall that we start moving in the direction of not moving. So we stay in the center. So you can put it at speed 8, doesn't matter what speed you put it at, as long as we know that that little square in the middle's clicked, that means that we won't be moving at all. So if you hit into a wall, you're going to stop. Now what we need to do is we need to make a new object for our sprite goal. So we type in object underscore goal, and we want a few things to happen when we collide with our person. So if our main character gets to the goal, the end of the room or the end of the maze, we want something to happen. What we want to happen is we want it to be able to go to the next room if it exists. So we drag that across as an action. So if there's another room, once you get to the flag, you go to level 2 and it's harder and more challenging. Now, we then drag this one across, which says if next room exists, we'll then go to the next room, and we can have, a shift from the left as our transition into our new level. But it's also important to put a variable that else, if there's not another room, what do we want to do? We want to show the high score table. Perhaps we want to restart the game, so we can go and do that and have the game restarted if there's no more rooms. So what we need to do now is we need to set that up like so, and we've only just got our new room, and as you can see we've got our teddy bear in it, but we need to set up our maze now. So we need to click on our object wall, and we can just make ourselves a basic sort of room. And so the idea is that you make somewhere where it has to go through. We're not going to add enemies at the moment or anything to collect, but just that idea. And perhaps we can put the flag down over here. So we then add our goal in. We put our goal in down there, and so the teddy bear has to get to there. Now we might change our background color to a nice green, and so you can see it working there. So what we need to do is we then need to test our game and see if it works. So press OK and press play and see if your simple maze game works. And as you can see, my teddy bear moves along and aligns itself with the blocks in the grid. Whoops, wrong way. And then we have to go through our maze. And as you can see, when I hit the goal or the flag, because there's no next level, it just restarts my game for me. So the only other thing that we can do is just to do another level. So I can just add a new level, even though I haven't done anything, but just for the purposes, so you can see how it works when you collect the goal. So now we just use our teddy bear, go down to the goal, and it goes into our next room. Obviously I haven't put the teddy bear in there yet, or made a wall, or made another goal to collect, but that's how the game works. So that's the end of this tutorial. So save your work and keep on going.